The part of the fundamentalist modernist controversy I chose to look at is the Scopes trial. From other courses that I've taken through the years, I was aware of the basics of the trial, but somehow I missed that the events surrounding the trial were planned and even fabricated. The defense, the prosecution, even Mr. Scopes himself were all in on this in some way. It all began in New York City with the American Civil Liberties Union. In the 1920s, several states passed laws against the teaching of evolution. The ACLU decided they needed a test case. Their goal was to overturn the laws, and they thought Tennessee would be the state to start with. The ACLU posted an ad in newspapers in Tennessee looking for their willing patsy. A gentleman by the name of George Rappleyea happened to see this ad in a Chattanooga newspaper. Now, old George was a mine operator. He wasn't interested in the religion or the politics. He didn't care about the science or the education of it. And he thought to himself, this trial would bring attention to Dayton, and maybe I could get more investment for my mine. George talked to other businessmen, and they all agreed this could bring attention to their little town. They approached a 25-year-old John T. Scopes. He was a football coach who sometimes subbed for teachers who were absent. The last 2 weeks of school in 1925, he filled in for an absent biology teacher at the high school. And at first, John was hesitant. But he finally agreed, and the ACLU had found their patsy. And the businessmen of Dayton, they were going to get the attention that they wanted. By the way, I never taught evolution during those 2 weeks. They decided it was enough that the book we had to use, the one that the state required us to use, Hunter's Civic Biology, it was enough that there was a chapter in that book on evolution. So they arrested me. In an article in the New York Times on June 10th, 1925, it stated the defense hoped to use the publicity of the trial to correct some falsehoods and make religious folks a little less harsh of science. More specifically, quote, in their minds, this trial offers a unique opportunity to take the wind out of the sails of the fundamentalists and others who oppose the theory of evolution on religious grounds, end quote. Both Mr. Darrow and Forrest Bailey, the assistant director of the ACLU, believed there was no conflict between religion and science. In conclusion, it seems like there's a current that runs just below the mainstream. People are always pushing the limits by any means necessary. In 1925, it really wasn't John Scopes on trial. The modernists put the fundamentalists on trial that year.